I've ranked every single prospect in 2025 Bowman Chrome with the Vanguard system, showing you exactly which teams are worth chasing and which ones to avoid. Some exciting prospects to report on here, so let's get into it. Hey everyone, it's Jay here from DripZone. Today I'm breaking down all 30 2025 Bowman Chrome teams, including every single prospect in the checklist, to show you which teams are stacked with high upside prospects and which teams aren't worth touching. You'll see where the real value is in a team break, thanks to Vanguard, the system that scores teams based on the combined potential of their top prospects' individual Vanguard scores. The Vanguard system highlights true player performance and cuts through all the hype and expectations to show which prospects with Bowman first rookie cards are showing signs of hobby value potential. This system boils down complex advanced player stats, and with the Vanguard algorithm, players are ranked with one single number, the player's Vanguard score. We've got tiers that make it easy to spot the big winners: Superfractor, Red, Orange, and Gold, each representing a different level of player performance. For an in-depth explanation of why I created Vanguard and how it works, check out the video linked in the description and at the end of the video. Let's jump in and rank every team from highest to lowest Vanguard power. When it comes to 2025 Bowman Chrome team breaks, one squad stands out far above the rest: the Baltimore Orioles. And here's why they're a powerhouse pick. Baltimore sits at the very top of Vanguard's power rankings with a score of 18.09. That's the highest cumulative Vanguard score of any team in the product. Translation: the O's are loaded with talent, and your odds of hitting quality prospects in a break are sky high. Leading the way is Wilfred de la Cruz with a Vanguard score of 4.17. He's an orange impact prospect out of the DSL. He posted a solid .442 on-base percentage in the DSL with more walks than strikeouts, rare for his age. Again, for a full report on de la Cruz, check my top 15 video linked in the description. Next up, Jordan Sanchez with a Vanguard score of 3.98, another orange impact prospect tearing through complex ball. He's known for his plus contact skills, plate discipline, and sneaky power. He exploded in his pro debut with a .333, .432, and .605 slash and 1.037 OPS in the DSL, launching 6 homers in 38 games. Next up in this dominant Orioles group is Nate George with a score of 3.76, another orange impact prospect, already climbing from complex to high A. Then you've got depth guys like Steven Marinez 3.20 and Elvin Garcia 3.07, both green organizational prospects with upside, adding even more chances to hit solid cards in a break. 5 legit prospects with 3 graded as impact prospects and the highest Vanguard power ranking in this set. Baltimore is #1 by far when it comes to picking a high odds team with tons of solid prospects. With a Vanguard score of 14.73, the Giants sit just behind Baltimore in overall prospect firepower. That means in a break, you've got real chances of hitting multiple quality players, and some of them already have huge hobby value potential. It starts with Josuar Gonzalez at 3.94, an orange impact prospect in the DSL. He's showing early flashes that he could translate into a real hobby value. With plus bat speed, elite instincts, plus speed, he's already ignited the DSL with a 1.14 OPS in August. He has the feel of a future cornerstone in the making. Then you've got Julian Barreto at 3.73, labeled a gold promising prospect. His upside bat makes him one of the Giants' most exciting international names. Already earning DSL All-Star honors, he's turned 141 plate appearances into an .872 OPS, more walks than strikeouts, and elite contact skills. Bo Davidson scores a 3.58, already climbing through high A and double A. Anytime you see a prospect advancing that quickly, the organization clearly likes what they see. Plus power standout with 111 mile per hour exit velocities, plus speed and power blend. Next is Dejin Macarez at 3.48 Vanguard score, another gold promising prospect in the DSL. He's a 17-year-old outfielder with a mature frame, elite bat speed, and plate discipline, and a solid on-base percentage. On top of that, San Fran has Jakub Christian, Robert Hipwell, and Xander Darby, all small sample guys right now, but their inclusion adds even more potential sleeper hits to this checklist. So here's the bottom line on the Giants. They may not be as loaded as Baltimore, but they're still stacked with upside. 4 real prospects with Vanguard scores north of 3.4, plus a few wild cards who could emerge later. That's why San Francisco is a top-tier play in this break. Coming in at number 3 on the Vanguard Power Rankings for 2025 Bowman Chrome, it's the Chicago Cubs. With a score of 12.71, this team has a nice mix of international upside and steady organizational depth. With the Cubs, you're getting multiple players with Vanguard scores over 3.0, meaning solid chances at quality hits across the checklist. Leading the way is Juan Cabada, a gold, promising prospect out of the Dominican Summer League with a Vanguard score of 3.68. He's already impressing in the international scene, already posting an 855 OPS in the DSL with elite bat speed. He can steal bases and has defensive versatility. Quietly, he's emerging as one of the most intriguing pieces in Chicago's international pipeline. Right behind him is Juan Thomas at 3.28, another DSL gold promising prospect. Early bat-to-ball skills make him intriguing in the hobby. Just 17 years old, 6'3" and still growing, he brings plus athleticism and a high ceiling. Next are 2 green organizational prospects, including Brett Bateman with a Vanguard score of 2.94 and already in AA. His steady climb through the system gives you a safer floor compared to some of the more raw DSL guys. Yahil Melendez at 2.81 is another organizational prospect in low A. Solid contributor potential and another name that pads your chances in a break. And don't forget Angel Cepeda. Still a small sample guy, but these are the kinds of players that sometimes surprise collectors down the line. So here's the play. Chicago brings you balance. High upside international talent with Cabada and Thomas, plus safer system depth with Bateman and Melendez. Add in the lottery ticket of Cepeda, and at 12.71 Vanguard power, the Cubs are a smart mid to high tier team to target in 2025 Bowman Chrome breaks. Coming in at number 4 on the Vanguard power rankings with a score of 11.17, we've got the St. Louis Cardinals. And let me tell you, this squad packs sneaky value for team breaks. With 2 legit impact prospects and multiple players with Vanguard scores north of 3.4, the Cardinals give you both upside talent and MLB-ready names, making them one of the more balanced plays in the product. First up, Raniel Rodriguez with a Vanguard score of 3.97. He's an impact prospect in low A, already showing a strong bat and steady progression through the system. With exit velocities up to 112 miles per hour and a compact, powerful swing, he's one of the most exciting young catchers in the system. Next is Nathan Church at 3.75, also graded an impact prospect. He's advanced all the way through AAA and has now graduated recently into the big leagues. His cards have real buy low before the breakout potential. Then you've got Yero Padilla with a 3.45 Vanguard score, a gold promising prospect out of the complex league with a 283, 396, and 763 slash line, 24 stolen bases, and a 119 WRC plus. Padilla is showcasing elite speed and on-base skills. His plus arm and defensive versatility make him an obvious target in this break. Bottom line, St. Louis isn't the deepest team in the checklist, but they hit you with quality at the top. 2 impact prospects, one already in the majors, and a couple more names with upside. At 11.17 Vanguard power, the Cardinals are a solid investment in the 2025 Bowman Chrome breaks. Coming in at number 5 on the Vanguard power rankings with a score of 10.21, it's the Athletics. Leading the way is Shotaro Mori. Vanguard score 3.52. He's a promising prospect in complex ball, showing good all-around tools with room to grow. Mori is aiming to be the next Ohtani. With elite bat speed and a diverse pitching arsenal, he's a complete package and one of the biggest targets in this set. Then you've got Tommy White at 3.40, also a promising prospect, already climbing through high A and double A. His quick progression through the minors is is exactly what you want to see from a card chase. With a career .355 average and a knack for clutch moments, he's already a crowd favorite. Finally, Aiden Johnson scores .329 out of the DSL, another promising prospect. While raw, he adds upside that collectors can add to this break. So while the A's don't have a ton of names in this set, every single one of their big three prospects grades out as a promising prospect with Vanguard scores in the 3.2 to 3.5 range. That means when you hit Oakland in a break, your odds of pulling legit talent are actually pretty strong. At 10.21 Vanguard power, the A's are a value play in 2025 Bowman Chrome. At number 6 in the Vanguard power rankings with a score of 9.46, we've got the Tampa Bay Rays, a team known for developing talent, and in Bowman Chrome, they bring some intriguing names to the chase. The Rays don't have the deepest checklist this year, but what they do bring is international upside in the DSL and a few organizational names that could surprise collectors down the road. First up is Worrell Solano. Vanguard score 3.28. He's a gold, promising prospect in the DSL. Raw but exciting with plenty of time to develop. He's a bat-first shortstop with a .316 average, 392 on-base percentage, and 794 OPS in his first pro season. The bat is his calling card and his defensive skills are progressing well. Then there's Michael Corrette, 3.24, tagged as a green organizational prospect. Another young DSL name, he adds depth to the checklist. Ramsell Medina, Vanguard 2.94, is also a green organizational prospect in the DSL. While not as high upside, he's the type of player who gives you extra shots at color or parallels in a break. And finally, Matthew Etzel, who doesn't have much pro data yet, but for collectors, those small sample guys are always worth stashing, since they could have a chance to emerge later. So here's the deal. The Rays may not pack the top-end firepower like Baltimore or San Francisco, but they do offer multiple DSL prospects with room to grow, plus some depth pieces for collectors looking long-term. At 9.46 Vanguard power ranking, Tampa Bay is a sleeper value team in the 2025 Bowman Chrome breaks. The Nationals may not dominate the top of Vanguard's list, but they're loaded with mid-tier upside prospects that can make a break worth it. Multiple players score over 3.0, giving collectors good chances for value pulls. Leading the way is Brian Cortesia at 3.29, a promising prospect in the DSL. He's got raw tools and upside and the kind of player collectors love to chase. He's tearing it up in the DSL with a .317 average, a .440 on-base percentage, 798 OPS, 22 steals in just 120 at-bats. Plus his tool package with soft hands, a cannon arm, and 60-yard speed as fast as 6.5 seconds adds real 5-tool upside. Next is Ronnie Cruz, Vanguard score 3.07, a green organizational prospect out of the complex. Adds depth and a floor for hobby value. Luke Dickerson scores a 2.96 in low A, also a green organizational prospect. He's already showing progression and could translate into a solid mid-tier card pull. And finally, Carlos Tavares, still a small sample guy, but these are often the lottery ticket names that can surprise later in the set. Bottom line, the Nationals might not be a headliner in this break, but with Cortesia in there with a few solid organizational names behind him, there are multiple shots at worthwhile cards. At 9.32 Vanguard power ranking, Washington is a solid mid-tier team to consider in this set. Coming in at number 8 on the Vanguard power rankings with a score of 8.45, it's the Texas Rangers. While their overall Vanguard power isn't as high as the Orioles or Giants, the Rangers have some elite and impact level prospects that could make any break a home run. Leading the way is Yulorky Rodriguez, Vanguard score 4.33, a red elite prospect in the DSL. This is the type of player collectors get excited about for both autos and future value. In the DSL, he's up to a .337 average, .473 on-base percentage, 6 homers and 9 steals in just 178 at-bats. That slash line is absolutely electric. I'd personally consider the Texans in this break. If you're liking what you're seeing so far, go ahead and hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. It really motivates me to keep creating new content. Also, turn on notifications so you'll know the moment I drop my 2024 Bowman Draft Prospect Evaluation video. That one's going to feature some big names including Connor Griffin, who was in that Bowman Sets checklist. And while you're at it, feel free to leave me a comment with suggestions for the kind of videos you'd like to see next. I always love hearing your ideas. Alright, let's get back into it. Next is Devin Fitzgerald, scoring a 4.12 orange impact prospect, splitting time between complex and A-ball. He's already showing advanced tools, and his cards could pop fast in the hobby. The bat's ready. Now he's looking to grow the game, and his defensive skills at shortstop and third base are progressing well. Finally, David Ortiz Jr. Small sample, no data yet, but another lottery ticket name that could surprise in later releases. Bottom line, the Rangers may sit at number 8, but with Elorki Rodriguez and Devin Fitzgerald in there, they're one of the more exciting teams to hit in this break. Throw in Ortiz as a sleeper, and at 8.45 Vanguard power, Texas is a strong mid-tier pick in 2025 Bowman Chrome. Number 9 in the Vanguard Power Rankings with a score of 7.89, it's the New York Mets. Not the deepest team, but they bring some high upside prospects worth chasing in 2025 Bowman. Definitely one of my favorite teams for this break. The Mets sit in the lower tier of Vanguard Power, but what they lack in depth, they make up for with a couple of impact prospects who could make a serious hobby splash. At the top is Elian Pena, Vanguard score 4.14, an impact prospect in the DSL. He's got the tools to be a game changer, and collectors love chasing DSL standouts with high scores. Next is Christopher Suero, scoring 3.75, an impact prospect already in AA. Suero gives you a floor with a player who's advanced in the system quickly and has proven potential. He's got a hell of an underdog story as well, and everyone loves the underdog. Regardless of the bigger names in this set, Suero is a player I'm adding to my PC as soon as his first Bowman is available. And finally, Nick LaRusso, a small sample, but he adds a sleeper element to the Mets checklist for collectors who like taking chances in a break. Bottom line, the Mets might not be top heavy, but with Pena and Suero leading the way, plus a sleeper like LaRusso, there's still solid value here. At 7.89 Vanguard power, New York is a team to consider if you're looking for high upside picks in 2025 Bowman Chrome breaks. At number 10 on the Vanguard Power Rankings with a score of 7.54, we've got the Houston Astros. They've got a few high upside prospects worth chasing in 2025 Bowman Chrome breaks. Leading the way is Kevin Alvarez, Vanguard score 4.19, an orange impact prospect in the DSL. He's one of those raw talents that can really pop in the hobby if he develops as expected. He's a 6'4" outfielder already named a mid-season All-Star. Those international parallels numbered to 5 have to be one of the biggest chase cards. They look pretty sweet. Next is Caden Powell, scoring 3.35, a gold, promising prospect in A-ball. Powell adds depth and a reliable mid-tier option for collectors chasing multiple hits in a break. Powell is trending up, and I sense a breakout brewing. Finally, Bryce Boucher, with a small sample, the kind of sleeper that can surprise later and make a break more exciting. Bottom line, with Alvarez leading the way and Powell providing very solid depth, there's still a worthwhile play in a team break. Add in Boucher as a lottery ticket sleeper and a 7.54 Vanguard power, Houston rounds out the top 10 Vanguard teams in 2025 Bowman Chrome. Coming in just outside the top 10 at number 11 with a Vanguard power score of 7.51, it's the Los Angeles Angels. They may be under the radar, but there's serious upside in this checklist. The Angels aren't loaded with names, but what they do have could arguably be the top elite talent in this set, plus a few depth pieces that can make a break exciting for collectors chasing hits. Gabriel Davalillo is a high pedigree player with a Vanguard score of 4.66, a red elite prospect in the DSL. This guy is a major talent and one of the most exciting names on the checklist, already slashing 302, 408, and 926 in the DSL with 7 homers, a power-first catching breakout, and one of my favorite players in this entire set. Next is Aniello Marquez, scoring 2.85, a green organizational prospect in the complex league. He adds depth and gives collectors another shot at a valuable pull in a break. Bottom line, the Angels may not have a ton of names, but Davalillo's elite ceiling makes them worth considering, while Marquez adds some organizational depth. At 7.51 Vanguard power, the Angels are a smaller team with high upside potential in 2025 Bowman Chrome breaks. At number 12 with a Vanguard power score of 7.33, it's the Minnesota Twins. Not the deepest team in this checklist, but they've got some prospects worth chasing in this set. The Twins may fly under the radar, but with multiple DSL prospects and a few high upside names, they offer collectors a solid mix of lottery tickets and potential breakout cards. At the top of the list is Harrison Castillo, Vanguard score 3.84, an impact prospect in the Dominican Summer League. His bat-to-ball skills and early tools make him a must-watch in breaks. Castillo was named a DSL mid-season All-Star. Quietly, he's building momentum. Next is Santiago Leon, scoring 3.49, a gold promising prospect Vanguard score. Another Twins DSL prospect with upside potential. A polished all-around shortstop with a rare contact-driven approach. The potential with this kid is locked in. Finally, Talon Serrano, a small sample, but these are the kinds of sleeper names that can surprise and make a break exciting. Bottom line, the Twins may not headline the top 10, but with Castillo leading the way and Leon adding depth, plus Serrano as a sleeper, there's still value to be found. At 7.33 Vanguard power, Minnesota is a solid mid-tier team to consider in 2025 Bowman Chrome breaks. Next up at number 13, with a Vanguard power score of 6.94, it's the Atlanta Braves. The Braves sit in the mid-tier of Vanguard power, but with a couple of high upside names and a lottery ticket sleeper, they can deliver value in a team break. Number 1 on their list is Diego Tornes. Vanguard score 3.55, a promising prospect in the DSL. His tools and bat potential make him a standout in the checklist. In the DSL, he's already slashing 279, 395, and 797 with 24 steals and crowned a mid-season All-Star. He's a 5-tool all the way. Next is John Gill, scoring 3.39, a promising prospect already in low A. He adds depth and consistency, giving collectors more chances at solid pulls. A switch hitter with elite speed and developing power profile, he's already racked up 24 steals and a 797 OPS in Single A Augusta. Finally, DJ Layton, a small sample guy so far, but once again, sleepers add value. Bottom line, the Braves may not have the top-tier firepower, but with Tornes and Gill leading the way, plus a sleeper like Layton, there's still real value there. The Brewers sit in the mid to lower tier of Vanguard power rankings, but they bring a mix of A-ball and DSL prospects that give collectors multiple chances at quality pulls. Leading the way is Marco Dingiz, Vanguard score 3.55, a promising prospect in high A, already showing progression through the system. His cards have reliable floor and upside. After battling a rare illness, he returned to hit .323 with 15 homers and 68 RBIs at Florida State. Now in high A, Dingiz is showcasing his elite bat speed and power potential. A true comeback story in the making, and another player I'm rooting for. Next is Kenny Fenelon with a Vanguard score of 3.27. Gold, promising prospect. He's a 6-foot right-handed hitter with elite bat speed and raw power already impressing in the DSL. Check out that card, beautiful. Though still developing, his potential is undeniable. Then, Christopher Acosta, another DSL promising prospect, rounds out the Brewers' top-tier names for collectors chasing emerging talent. A gifted defender with quick hands and strong arm, Acosta is already showcasing his skills in the DSL. Though his bat is still developing, his plus defensive skills makes him a solid pull in this set. Finally, Jose Anderson, who has a small sample size but adds to this break. Bottom line, the Brewers are still an interesting pick. With Dingiz leading the way and Fenelon plus Acosta providing depth, you've got multiple opportunities for solid pulls. Add in Anderson as a sleeper, and at 6.82 Vanguard power ranking, Milwaukee is a mid-tier team in this set. The Dodgers sit in the mid-tier of Vanguard power, but what they do have is quality over quantity. A few names with solid scores and upside to give collectors good chances at impactful pulls. First up is Ching-Sen Ko. Vanguard score 3.76, an orange impact prospect, splitting time between complex and A-ball. He's showing strong tools and could translate into high-value cards in the hobby. Next is Emil Morales, scoring 3.66, another promising prospect. Also in complex and A-ball, he adds depth and reliability for collectors chasing multiple hits in a break. Bottom line, the Dodgers may not have a ton of names, but with Coe and Morales leading the way, there's still solid value here. At 6.61 Vanguard power, Los Angeles is a mid-tier team to consider in 2025 Bowman Chrome. Next up at number 16 with a Vanguard power score of 6.25, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates. Not the deepest team, but they still bring a few prospects worth watching in this set. The Pirates sit in the lower tier of Vanguard power, but with multiple names above 2.7, there's still value to be found. Collectors chasing lottery tickets will find these players interesting. Leading the way is Yohan De Los Santos, Vanguard score 3.49, a gold, promising prospect in the DSL. He's showing solid tools and upside with a 353 average, 34 stolen bases, and a 911 OPS. Next is Johnny Servino, scoring 2.76, a green organizational prospect in A-ball. He adds depth and a safer floor for collectors chasing multiple hits. Finally, Will Taylor, a small sample so far, but does have that lottery ticket potential. You just never know. Bottom line, the Pirates have some interesting names. De Los Santos leading the way and Servino plus Taylor providing depth and sleeper potential. They're still worth considering. At 6.25 Vanguard power, Pittsburgh is a lower tier team with some upside in 2025 Bowman Chrome. Now we're moving into the lower tier names with lower Vanguard power rankings, each with only one notable prospect on their checklist. These are the kinds of teams where a single name can really make a break exciting if it's that one player you want to target. This is high risk and potentially high reward territory. Of these prospects, Caceres of the Guardians and Shrek of the Blue Jays made the Vanguard Top 15 Prospects list for this set. Again, you can find their full report on my Top 15 Prospect video linked in the description. Here we go. These are the teams that you need to consider, and you can find the player names and a brief write-up of what these players have to offer linked in the description. We've got the Cleveland Guardians, the Toronto Blue Jays, Cincinnati Reds, Boston Red Sox, Detroit Tigers, Seattle Mariners, New York Yankees, Miami Marlins, Kansas City Royals, and Arizona Diamondbacks. All of these teams have just one player to consider, but in some cases, those players are highly notable. Just briefly looking through, I can see some gold promising prospects in there, as well as some orange impact prospects as well. Take a moment to read the description to get all of the information of these players, including their Vanguard scores. Bottom line, these teams may sit at the lower end of Vanguard power, but one solid prospect can make a break very worthwhile. If you're chasing that single standout name, Caceres, Shrek, Aponte, Katui, these teams still deliver big hits in 2025 Bowman Chrome. Finally, let's cover the teams with no notable prospects in this set, sitting at a Vanguard power score of a miserable 0.00. These are the squads where breaks are purely about luck and chasing small sample sleepers. These teams don't have any high-end names, so if you hit a card, it's either a small sample breakout or a complete lottery ticket. Still, some collectors enjoy taking a chance here. Personally, I'm avoiding the Chicago White Sox, the Colorado Rockies, the Phillies, and the Padres. These zero Vanguard teams are for collectors chasing sleepers or hoping for a surprise breakout. If you want a guaranteed upside, these are not the teams to prioritize, but for the thrill of a long shot, they're still in play for some. That's it for all the 2025 Bowman Chrome teams ranked by Vanguard power. Now you know which teams are stacked with elite prospects, which have sleepers, and which ones to skip altogether. If you want the best pulls and value in your breaks, Vanguard is your roadmap. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss future breakdowns. And don't forget that many of these players have a deep dive analysis in my 2025 Bowman Chrome Top 15 video linked in the description. There you'll find detailed stats on what drives their Vanguard scores. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.